guest, especially Toastmaster Evelyn Lilly. I'm certain she's done this particular project on many occasions. This is her main speech in the Company Communication Manual, Persuade Your Power. Now, her objective in this project was to combine logical support for her viewpoint with a strong emotional appeal. And this speech was supposed to focus on our self-interest. Now, her speech did project sincerity and conviction, because I believe with all the calendars that you believe in having a lot of calendars as far as being a credible source of information. I guess I'm a stickler for examples, because probably, since this was going to be an emotional appeal, probably some example of maybe where someone had a calendar and how successful they were because of the calendar, and maybe someone who did not have a calendar and where they failed because they didn't have a calendar. Your appeal, again, to our self-interest. When you think in terms of self-interest, we look at what's important to us. Everyone in the audience is thinking, what does what you're saying have to do with me? So we're sitting there thinking that. And since I'm actually evaluating the project, I was wondering at what point will it be an appeal to us? So that may need a little work in terms of the emotional appeal there. Now, your opening actually captured our attention because you had Toastmaster Harris to help you out with a little skit that you all did. And I didn't know at some point she was going to get up and actually get involved with you. So that was actually real good, your opening. Logical facts and reasoning for your speech. I did not really hear a lot of maybe examples in terms of what this expert says. What would happen if you use a calendar? Or what would not happen if you don't use a calendar? So there wasn't a whole lot of factual information that was presented tonight. Back to this emotional thing again. Emotional is something that's kind of fleeting and flighty. So we have to know what emotional appeal to use. And what I've learned is sometimes when you talk about money, since you're talking about using a calendar, and some of us will use calendars to set goals and make appointments, money is a strong appeal. So maybe you've tied money into some kind of way to help us to understand that you don't use a calendar properly, it could cost you some money up the road. So maybe something you may want to think about the next time you work on this project. You were organized, effectively, because again, you had all those calendars up there and you knew exactly what you were going from beginning to end. Body language, it went along with what you had to say. In terms of us being persuaded to accept your viewpoint, I don't know, because I looked around the room at everybody, and I don't know if everybody was convinced or not whether or not they should have a calendar. And I look at you now, and I wonder if you were still convinced that whether or not you should have a calendar. What could you have done to make this project more effective? I'm a stickler for stories and examples. Those stories and examples will tell us exactly what someone else did to make it with the calendars, what someone else missed out on because they didn't use the calendar. What I liked about it, your opening and your closing, because at the end, you made it appear as though you forgot where you were, and I know you was trying to aim our thought back to using calendars. Sensational. Loved it. Keep up the good work. Ready for number 10. Madam Julie Value.